Innovating Education Learning World in association with WISE, an initiative of Qatar Foundation.
After the long summer break, some children and even some parents dread the first day back at school. Why? Is it really that bad? Is it possible to make it easier to get back into the routines of school life? We explore some examples and hear an expert's advice. In France, a short school week with long school days was supposed to improve learning conditions for children. But has results been counterproductive? And how do parents cope with a short school week? Let's find out.
We're at a primary school in the centre of Avignon, France. 136 pupils turn up each morning here, but only 4 times a week. The 4-day school week is the norm here in French primary schools. Children go to school every Monday, Tuesday, Thursday and Friday.
We start class at 8:30 a.m. There's 10 minutes at the beginning for the teacher to check everyone's present and to prepare lesson material for the day. Then we start immediately because every second counts. A day at school is very intense.
A day at school is divided into 2 sessions of 3 hours. The morning lessons finish at 11:30 a.m. In the afternoon, the lessons go from 1:30 p.m. to 4:30 p.m. Between both parts, there's a 2-hour lunch break. Most students eat at the canteen. As it doesn't have enough space for all the children, there are 2 services. For pupils who attend the school's before and after school childcare programs, the long days at school can be even longer.
Some students arrive at 8 a.m. and stay until 6 p.m. That's a very long day.
The daily and weekly school schedule often means parents must seek the help of others, babysitters, grandparents or other family, to pick up and drop off their children during the day.
French schools have not adapted to the reality of families where both parents work. Which working woman can come and pick up her child at 11:30 a.m. and 4:30 p.m? That's impossible. It would be ideal to have extracurricular care organised by the municipality or by associations to make sure our children's free time is not wasted.
Because of this shorter school week, each day is very full. The hourly volume of schoolwork per year in France is one of the highest among OECD countries. But the 4-day school week will soon be a thing of the past. The country is reforming its school timetabling. Primary schools will soon have a 4.5-day week. At the end of the year, the number of hours spent in school will be the same, but spread out differently.
It will be a 4.5-day week. The 4 days will be half an hour shorter and only last for 5.5 hours. And the 5th day is just 3 or 3.5 hours in the morning, because as you know, in the morning it's easier to study.
State public schools have 2 years to apply the new 4.5-day week. But so far, only 20% of schools have made the change.
So if long school days can be stressful over the whole academic year, how about the first day back at school after the summer holidays? Is it easy to get back into the rhythm, or can it be difficult? What is the best way to survive the first day of term? We hear expert Cinzia Crosali's point of view.
Hello and welcome to Euronews.
Hello.
Going back to school after the summer holidays can be quite traumatising. How should we deal with it, at home and at school?
It's true that it can be traumatising for many kids, but we shouldn't generalise and exaggerate, because for many others it's an exciting time. To reduce the stress, parents and kids can speak in a relaxed way about school. It's true indeed that if the parents are a bit anxious about the end of their vacation, it is difficult for children themselves to stay calm and face the new school year.
È difficile che I ragazzi possano così affrontare l'inizio della scuola in modo sereno.
For many, purchasing school supplies at the beginning of the school year is a nostalgic ritual. Is it still important to buy pencils and exercise books now that everything's virtual?
Buying school supplies together has always been an enjoyable and exciting moment for children, even if they have to learn not to be taken in by advertisements. But when it comes to the question of whether pencils and notebooks are still relevant, I would say yes. These things help you to develop dexterity and coordination functions, which wouldn't be developed the same way working on a computer.
Di sviluppare la manualità, di sviluppare delle funzioni come la coordinazione oculo-manuale che non è sviluppata nello stesso modo dalle tecniche informatiche.
When it comes to school hours, Japan and France are countries with very rigorous and stressful school timetables. Often school timetables are a mirror of the parents' working hours. Is this a good thing, and how could the time spent at school be reorganized?
When school hours mirrors the parents' working hours, it means the kids often have to stay longer in school. And women now work more than they used to. So suddenly the time students spend at school can increase significantly. Children, even very young ones, may leave home at 7 a.m. and come home at 7 p.m. France is trying to change this and reorganize the school schedules. France could also reduce the long summer holidays as Switzerland did, or alternate more holidays and time at school.
Oppure alternare con più frequenza I tempi di scuola e I tempi di vacanza.
Grazie. Thank you for answering our questions. Per essere stata con noi e aver risposto alle nostre domande.
Grazie a voi.
Talking about long school days, Japan has one of the longest school years in the world. And discipline is strict. All school books have to be taken home every night. This not only results in a heavy school bag, but an expensive one too. Let's find out more in this report. It's just a normal day for Hinata Ihama. She's 10 years old and currently in the 4th grade of Japanese primary school. These school bags set Japanese parents back a cool €400, which may well make it the most expensive mandatory primary school bag in the world. When filled with books, it can weigh more than 3 kilograms.
Now she's strong enough, and I'm not concerned anymore about the heavy bag. However, when she was in the 1st and 2nd grade, I was a little worried about her not being able to carry the bag and walk. Hinata carries her heavy bag to her school in Ota, a district of Tokyo. In Japanese primary school, every day lasts 6 hours, with a total of 30 hours per week. While days are already very full, there's now talk of increasing the weekly hours. Teachers and parents are concerned that the country's educational standards have dropped following the abolition of the Saturday school day a decade ago. The idea was to give parents more time with their children and help them learn. But instead, parents who were concerned about academic standards dropping ended up sending their children to private weekend study schools.
The time spent together with parents did not increase. At the same time, the scholastic level dropped. Our original target was to create more time for children and parents to learn together, but the reality showed that it is a very difficult thing to do.
The Japanese way of life encourages the constructive use of spare time for self-improvement and the acquisition of new knowledge and skills. It's expected that this attitude will be reflected in the coming changes to the school system. Regardless of the length of the school week, the emphasis on high productivity and full days of learning is likely to remain the same.
Of course, being on holiday is relaxing, but hopefully a break should lead to a fresh start. Do let us share your experiences of going back to school on our social media pages. The Learning World team wishes everyone a successful school year. Goodbye for now.
Learning World in association with WISE, an initiative of Qatar Foundation.